Deep in the forests of North America, a creature is said to exist. A creature that people are encountering.
Seriously, look how big it is.
With far too many reports to ignore, there are elements of truth behind these accounts that mankind can no longer
It's
ignore.
created almost this obsession where I need to find out
Could a
more.
breeding population of large, upright, hairy hominids really exist in North America? Or is there something more paranormal at work here? Digging the woods. If just one footprint, one wood knock, or one howl was real, then man's understanding of primate evolution would be changed forever. Join Glenn Purcell and the Catskill Appalachian Research Collective as they delve further into the mysteries of Bigfoot and other paranormal phenomena through the eyes of witnesses, investigators, critics, and skeptics. Join us as we look to discover what lurks from behind tall trees.
Hello, everybody. It's another edition of From Behind Tall Trees. I'm Gwen Purcell, your host. We got a very cool topic tonight that I have not talked about before. So we're going to bring Mondo on. This will be his third appearance here, and I'm super excited. I know he's like, yay! So we're going to be talking tonight about Roswell, New Mexico. And this is not a subject that I have gone down before, ever. So this is going to be a first. You're going to teach us lots of things, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, because you sent me an Excel spreadsheet.
I did. You know how I love my Excel spreadsheets.
You love Excel. You should be, you should model for them and like sell products. And
I got a face for modeling Excel spreadsheets,
Oh my gosh. How are you?
I'm good. And I'm going to apologize to you and all your viewers right now. You know how life is. Life gets in the way. And I totally just dropped the ball on this. So again, I apologize if I don't make eye contact constantly. I'm going to try not to look crazy when I do make eye contact. But I have notes all over the place. You can't see them, but they are like all over the place. So
you will be good. I'm sure of it.
So forgive me if I keep doing this. Okay.
So, okay. I have lots of questions.
Excellent. Let's do this.
I have not dug into this. I'm going to be completely transparent when I say I try to avoid the alien conversation for personal reasons. And I need to start looking at some of these things. And so Roswell has intrigued me because, of course, I've seen the different stuff online and on videos. And I love the Y files, little shameless plug for them. Love the Y files.
Me too. Yeah.
If I could figure out how to get AJ to my festival, I would totally freaking do it.
You know what? I bet he would do it too. I'm almost sure he would.
I would love to have him. I could just sit down, talk to him, and pick his brain.
Now, I wanted to get a real life Gertie, but apparently my HOA will not allow a camel in our backyard. So, and then teaching it how to dance would be another thing. So,
oh my gosh, that would be so cool. I think I need to get like a little hecklefish.
Oh, we all do.
Something. It can't be a fish because he's already got that, but I'll have to come up with something.
You have one back there. It's that creepy doll of yours.
The heckle doll.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I just got to make her talk.
No, I'm good. I told you I'm a wimp about those things. So.
Oh, she's harmless.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they all say.
Yeah.
I've seen how those movies start.
Oh, those movies give haunted dolls a bad name. Except for that one. you know.
Okay, so you said you had a whole list of questions. What are
Yes,
some of
I
them
do.
before we
First of
dive
all,
into this?
I've seen this all started like what 1947,
Correct.
correct? Okay, because I saw a show the other night with Linda Moulton Howe, who has done a lot of stuff with Roswell.
I'm a fan of hers. Let me tell
Yeah,
you.
she is amazing. If I could get her on this show, I absolutely would, but that's probably never going to happen. Um, but they were actually out in the desert still looking for pieces of metal, which they have found and can't explain what that metal is. Like
Yeah.
it's not something that we have here on this earth.
Yeah.
And they're just tiny little metal fragments that they're collecting.
Right.
But the government said that this was a weather balloon.
Correct.
Can you confirm or deny that statement?
So what they showed um in Fort Worth,
Mm-hmm.
when they had the all the newspapers and everything taking pictures of Marcel, that was actually a um it, it, it was a radar balloon. So it gets easily conflated with weather balloon, but it is a radar balloon. So it's a balloon, and it has a radar attachment on the bottom. And funny enough, I was trying to recreate those. I mean, if somebody steals this, I'm going to know who it is because I'm saying it for the first time here. I was going to recreate the radar reflector from Roswell, the one that they showed in DC, about this big, and attach it to little helium balloons and say, hey, here's the Roswell UFO. You can put it on your wrist and walk around with it. So I may give you that, Gwen, and you can sell those at
Oh
the
my gosh, that would be so funny.
yeah. So anyway, so that's in the photograph. I'm 99, because you can't be 100, so I'm 99% sure that in fact is a weather balloon. What Major Marcel brought to Fort Worth is another story, you know. And what I want to first say is everybody has the talking points about Roswell.
Mm.
Everybody. I bet you my 4 cats could give you a synopsis of, the Roswell story. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show everyone a timeline that is going to have some questions. And so, all of you talking heads out there that have repeated this nonsense, because all they do is regurgitate the same talking points. So, for all of you out there, these are points that you have glossed over, you've hidden, because they do it for money. That's my problem. You're doing it for money. Same thing with the Bigfoot topic. You have the talking heads say all of the key points. You, way better than me, can say all of the key points about Bigfoot, because that's all they do is regurgitate everything. And so hopefully by the end of this, you and all the viewers out there who are listening to me ramble are going to have questions that come out of this, that actually, like, why wasn't this never explained? You know? So yeah, there's that. What other questions?
Well, there was some argument about a piece of paper that was in someone's
Yeah.
hand that
Yeah.
was photographed, and imagine that people would blow that up to try to read that piece of paper that didn't match the story that they put out.
Correct.
Is that true?
I mean, I saw the same post that you did about that, and looking at that, it makes sense. And I always default to possible and probable, right? So everything is possible. We could have unicorns out there. It's possible to have unicorns.
Right.
Is it probable to have unicorns, right? That's a whole other story.
Right.
So is it possible that he had a telegram, either it was conversations from Washington, D.C. to him or from him to Washington, D.C.? That is very possible. What is the probability that that message has all of the key points? I'm going to reserve it because at the end of this, I want people to walk away with a whole different understanding of this whole topic. And actually, frankly, I want people to be kind of angry like I was. When I put all of this together, at the end of it, I sat back and I was like, man, this is BS, you know? So hopefully your audience will get to the same conclusions I did. And if not, then I can always say I'm crazy. So
You're no crazier than the rest of us, buddy.
that's true.
I'm the queen of crazy, so
it is true. It's true. That's why I don't like to go into the dark forest with you, because I seen what happens to my grandfather when he took the dogs into the forest. You know.
Oh, there's
two of them went out and only one came back. So.
Oh, I hope the dog came back.
Oh no.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It was the old dog.
Oh my gosh.
So, what else?
Where did the spaceship go?
That's a good question.
I have a theory.
What's your theory?
I think initially they took it to Area 51.
Okay.
Initially. And then I think a few years ago when we had that whole everybody's going to go storm Area 51.
Right.
Which I don't know what the hell they were thinking, because that is never going to happen. There's going to be a whole bunch of dead bodies laying in the desert. They're never going to let anybody get that close. However, I think in the dark of night, because I heard reports that things were moved from there and taken to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio.
Now, the only thing with Area 51, per public record, Area 51 was first opened in 1955.
Okay.
So, if we are to take that at face value, you know, we're in 1947,
right?
And so it would have to go somewhere. So I honestly think, this is my belief. I don't have the smoking guns. My belief is that much like everything else, it got piecemealed to several different places. Here, Wright-Patterson, you take X, and Los Alamos, you take Y, and the place where they did the nuclear bomb. What was that?
That was in Utah, wasn't it?
No, Nevada's where they were testing it, but where the Manhattan Project was. Let me consult the machine of knowledge. That's what I think happened, is it got piecemealed all over the place. Oak Ridge, Tennessee, that's where I was thinking.
Wouldn't it make more sense to go to Missouri? There's an Air Force base in Missouri.
Yes. However,
which is much closer than Ohio or Tennessee.
However, you got to look at so here's one of the things. You got to put your head in 1947. We just won World War II. We just, beat the hell out of the Germans and the Japanese. And how did we do it? By keeping secrets, right?
Yes.
Roswell Air Force Base was one of those secrets that were kept for the success of World War II. But since the crash happened in that vicinity, you can't store the stuff there.
Right.
So where else are you going to store it? Where else was secrets being kept? Well, you had Los Alamos, you had Tennessee, and you had Wright-Patterson, and those are big enough locations, secluded and away from prying eyes, basically. Because in 1947, I mean, people who live in Ohio, please correct me, but in 1947, there wasn't much around, Wright-Patterson at that time. I imagine it to be pretty sparse, and you can have planes flying in and out without people taking a second look at it, right? So I would think they would go to places that are known to keep secrets during World War II. And then, obviously something facilitated the purchase of Area 51, right? So on face value, Area 51 was where we started, doing stealth technology, started doing the stealth fighters and the stealth bombers and all of that kind of stuff. And it kind of makes sense when you start thinking in 1947, right? So the U-2 spy plane is being developed. Now, nowadays, even the small linear jets can go up to 45,000 feet. Back then in 1947, you could probably get a DC-10 to do 20,000 feet, and that was like, oh, we're way up there. So when somebody sees the U-2 spy plane at like 60,000 feet, and it's shiny because at that time they didn't have any paint or anything on it. It was just polished, aluminum reflecting the sun. Well, what does it look like? Something up there that's where no plane is well known, that's up there. I mean, and they're testing that out at Area 51. Now, that doesn't mean that that's all that was happening at Area 51. It's open to interpretation of where this thing went, right? But let's see. I'm getting ahead of myself, actually. But I am talking about 1947. So, according to Mac Brazel, who was the foreman of the Foster Ranch, here's my first point of contention. Every talking head on Ancient Aliens and everything says the UFO crashed on Mac Brazel's ranch. Well, guess what, folks? It belonged to two brothers with their last name Foster who lived in Texas. And they had a sheep farm, and they had a local by the name of Mac William Brazel as the foreman of the ranch. He did not own the ranch, didn't belong to him. So every time somebody tells you it was Mac Brazel's ranch, call them a liar. So let's get that out of the way. Now, you know me, I like going down those rabbit holes. Mac Brazel's uncle was Wayne Brazel. I don't know if anybody has ever heard of Wayne Brazel, But Wayne Brazel was the one who famously killed Billy the Kid.
Oh, okay.
See now so now you're starting to see some of these connections. Now these are old cowboys. Even Mac was an old cowboy. Now you're living on a sheep ranch that's 3 hours away from Roswell. Trust me, it's 3 hours away from Roswell. And it's not an easy hike in 1947. I mean, for us, we say, like, I know you've gone from Pennsylvania down to North Carolina, To you, it's nothing. But imagine in 1947 going from Pennsylvania to North Carolina. Now, that's going to be a couple of days' journey where
Right.
it takes us like half a day or so. So, again, people don't put themselves in 1947. They think 2026, I would do things differently. Well, there was no phones.
Right.
There's no cell phones. And the only people that had phones were people of importance at that time. And being a foreman at a sheep farm probably didn't. Yeah. And okay, so according to Mac Brazel, he states that the crash happens June 14th in 1947.
Okay.
Now, if you do the numbers like I did, that's 22 days of him discovering it, grabbing pieces. He went all over the place, apparently. According to his testimony, he went all over the place, showing people, at these local, like, not VFWs, but these local, like, kind of Mel's Diner-ish, in between these towns, these one-horse towns, people would travel, and he'd show them pieces of the material and stuff, and he had it in a little cigar box. So that's 22 days. That thing was out there for 22 days. So that's June 14th, 1947. And here's where talking heads like to just spew the garbage and not look at everything else. So you zoom back out of Roswell, you're looking at, New Mexico and the rest of the United States. So that's June 14th. 7 days later, June 21st, there's an incident at Maury Island in Puget Sound, Washington, where reportedly a UFO was having trouble, and it was surrounded by several other UFOs, and it was having trouble keeping its height, and then it dumped a bunch of material. A little kind of tugboat, fishing boat, if you will, was coming up. The fisherman, his grandson, dog, and I think it was just them three. The material hits the dog, kills the dog. The material hits the grandson, breaks his arm, and then puts holes in his boat. He makes it to the shore, tells everybody what was happening out in the sound. So that's 7 days after, supposedly, according to Mac Brazel, the crash. And then 5 days after that, that's when you have Kenneth Arnold flying in Washington State, and he's flying by Mount Rainier. What he's doing is he's looking for a downed aircraft. If he can find it, he gets a reward, tells the authorities, they do their thing. When he's flying, that's when he sees uh, several disc objects, like they're skipping across the water, and he's calculating between Mount Rainier and the second mountain next to it. Forgive me, but he calculates the speed. There's no known speed for any aircraft again in 1947. Those three incidents are like one right after another. And then between there, you have a couple of other sightings in Nevada, I think, but they're smaller. One was picked up on radar by a serviceman. And again, they're small little incidences. And then you get to the Roswell crash, supposedly. So if in fact Mac Roswell is telling the truth, he signed his name on the dotted line, so I believe he was telling the truth. Why would an old cowboy lie, right? The first crash happens in June 14th. But yet there's another crash that happens closer to Roswell. One's 3 hours away, one is closer to Roswell, right? The one closer to Roswell, I think, and again, you please pardon me, but I have to kind of see exactly what I think it was, according to testimony. It was Wednesday, July 2nd, is when everybody hears the loud crack and, you know, people go out and discover the UFO. Now, it's two separate incidents. One's 3 hours away from Roswell. One is just up the road from Roswell. And I mean just up the road by like a 30-minute drive or so. So how the talking heads get distance so wrong and days so wrong, it's unbelievable. Now, all of this is from witness testimonies. Everything I'm giving you has been in multiple books. It's been in everything. Just nobody lays it out in the time frame. So the fire chief goes out there. The police go out there. They see wreckage. They see smoke. Now, Roswell Air Base is right there in the city of Roswell. So what is the sheriff, what is the, fire chief going to think?
It's an airplane
crash. Yeah. Hey, there's Trish.
There she is.
Or is it Mike? I don't know who it is. But it's both of them. So, they don't know what to make of it. They just see, the scrub brush on fire. They go out, people start going out. And then that's when, so that's the 2nd, Wednesday the 2nd. Thursday, Thursday is July 3rd, right? And this is when what was he? A civil engineer. His name is Barney Barnett. A civil engineer, he goes out and he comes across the wreckage. And this is the first time we talk or anybody talks about bodies. Roswell didn't talk about bodies. So it was Barnett who said, hey, there was little things out there. The fire chief also talks about bodies with one of them alive, right? So the military is then alerted. Now, I'm sure everyone has had some affiliation with military. So you see when the holidays are coming, everybody kind of like wants to get off the base, you know, and go and relax and, you know, enjoy the July 4th holiday. Why wouldn't you, right?
Right.
So now there's a problem. Now there's a wreckage that nobody can identify and possibly occupants as well. So the base commander scrambles people, grabs people from who's ever left on the base, right? So he scrambles people, they go out there, and this is where you get the story of the cordoning off and everybody on their hands and knees, you know, picking up little pieces. This is not the area that Linda Moulton Howell is talking about. She's talking about the Foster Ranch.
The 3
She's
hours
not,
away.
yeah, she's not talking about this one up the road. So again, here's some gaps. People were on Liberty leave for the July 4th holiday. So whoever was on the base got a gun thrust in their hand and said, "You're going to go stand duty. You're a cook. You're going to go clean up little pieces of metal. Just put it in your pocket." You know, you got to think, again, people got to put this in context. There's a skeleton crew probably on the base. And that commander, he flexed everybody to go out there. The colonel flexed everybody to go out there and pick up pieces. And again, I'm roughly going over this, but we can dive into other things. So then Friday morning is July 4th, and the cleanup is underway. Several things happen, but by Saturday morning, everything's done. And they're patting themselves on the back. Look at, man, we covered that up. We don't know what it is. We got the bodies. We got everything. No issues. Right? So that's Saturday, July 5th. On July 5th, 3 hours away, Brazel is showing people what's in the little cigar box. A highway patrolman stops in, and Brazel shows him, and then he says, the highway patrolman says, "Why don't you take that over to the base and have them look at it and see what it is?" And Brazel kind of hawed and hummed, "Well, I don't know," because he was getting like little recognition, you know, kind of like I do with the hot sauce. "Oh, you're the hot sauce guy." Well, Brazel was probably like, "Oh, you're the crazy metal guy." So as the conversation goes, the highway patrolman says, "You know what? I'll take it to the base. I'm headed that way anyway." And that's when the human ego kicked in. And Brazel was like, "Hell no, I'll take it tomorrow," which would be Sunday the 6th. So Sunday the 6th, he drives to the sheriff's office. And remember, the sheriff had already seen the wreckage, but was not allowed to see what the wreckage was actually. The only one who managed to see what it was the fire chief and some of the firemen. So remember, everything's done and dusted by Saturday. And then you have Brazel show up Sunday. "Hey, look what I found, Sheriff." So what does the sheriff do? He calls the base. And this is where everybody will recognize, "Oh yeah, I remember this part of the story." He calls the base. The base commander says, "I'm going to send my intel officer over there," which is Jesse Marcel, Major Jesse Marcel. So Major Jesse Marcel goes over there and looks at the stuff, says, I don't know where it is. He goes back to the base and he tells the colonel, this is not what we have. It's not a weather balloon. Because Marcel, being the intel officer, I'm pretty sure, 99% sure, he would know what goes up and comes out of that base.
Right.
And he didn't know what it was. Now, here's another sticking point. The colonel then says, Marcel, go to the ranch and see if you can identify this stuff and take the counter intel guy with you. So he takes the counter intel guy and they drive out to the ranch, the Foster Ranch. They stay the night. They see it, what he had in the barn. They stay the night. They eat some beans out of a can because that's all, Mrs. Brazel could afford. They go out to the crash site, to which there's two conflicting reports. There's what Mac Brazel said, the intel officer, and what the counterintelligence officer said. Now, Brazel says it's about a mile long, like a big gouge where something hit and it's all over the place. The counterintel officer said, oh, it's, it wasn't a mile long. It was like half a mile maybe, and it was smaller and there was all kinds of stuff. So there's conflicting reports there. Nonetheless, they load everything up and they head back to Roswell. Now, again, 3 hours. So they've been out all day Monday. So they don't get back till Monday evening. And that's the 7th, Monday the 7th. When they show the colonel, that's when the colonel issues the statement of, on Tuesday, the 8th, this is a UFO. We captured a UFO. Now, that's pretty telling of the colonel. A lot of people down him in history, but the colonel, I think, was genuinely excited because, Roswell was where the nuclear bombs were. Very good. So Roswell was where the nuclear bombs were. They were used, that group was flown from Roswell to Tinian Island, which is just south of Guam, or in the vicinity of Guam. And then an intel officer from Roswell was tasked with picking which targets the atomic bomb would be dropped on. That same intel officer comes back from that very important mission and then is called an idiot in Fort Worth.
Oh.
The base colonel, Trish, the base colonel said it was a UFO. It was in the newspapers and everything. So that same intel officer is then called an idiot in Fort Worth. Here's another gap. It wasn't until 1980-ish that intel officer, Major Jesse Marcel, learned that there was bodies recovered. And this is where
40 years after the fact.
But again, this is where people don't put the pieces together. He was out at the site. There was no bodies. There was bodies at the site outside of Roswell.
Right.
So 40 years pass and somebody's like, a researcher, hey, So did you see the bodies? To which he genuinely was like, what the hell are you talking about? I saw a bunch of UFO material. He didn't know that there were bodies. So one of my big takeaways from this is, if you go back through my quick timeline, he wasn't on the cleanup crew on the 4th or the 5th. So where the hell was he? And I've looked at, he did an interview with this like makeshift journalist. She goes on to do to have a journalist career after this, but one of her first interviews was with Jesse Marcel. And I went through that book page by page. He never once mentioned bodies. Never once. He also stuck to that he went to the Foster Ranch. So he was missing in action on the 4th and the 5th. He obviously wasn't over here. Now, if you ask me, that counter intel officer was at the crash right outside of Roswell. He definitely, because why would the colonel say, you know what, take Mr. Cavett with you while you go out there?
Right.
Because I'm assuming here, it's my conspiracy theory or whatever you want to call it, Cavett, the intel officer, was at the one outside of Roswell. The colonel wanted him to go out there and verify it was the same thing. Whatever it was that crashed, he wanted Cavett to come back and tell him, yeah, that's the same thing. So poor Marcel was kept in the dark the whole time. Now, here's the other thing that people don't really know. So Marcel gets commissioned in 1942, in March of 1942. By October 1943, he's gone from second lieutenant to first lieutenant. And he's attached to the 5th Bomber Squadron out in the Pacific. In May of 1945, he puts on captain. So you see the quick progression of rank. Now, that is because in a time of war, you're losing people, unfortunately, and you have to, the next guy in line is going to have to go up. And so, you know, World War II, we lost a lot of people. So there was a lot of promotions going on. So by mid 1946, he'd already put on the major. Okay. And he goes in 1946, he's attached to Roswell, and then they go out to the Pacific, and they're going to do the nuclear tests in the Bikini Atoll in the Marshall Islands. And so the success of that, he comes back from that, and then a year later, so that's mid, let's say 1946, he's out in the Pacific. He comes back by July 1947. The Roswell crash happens. He goes to Fort Worth, and a general who had commended him on the work he did out in the Pacific is now calling him an idiot in Fort Worth in front of reporters. Now, that's where all of the talking heads on Ancient Aliens and all those documentaries, that's where they stop. So, are you guys ready for this?
Of course we are.
So that's July 1947. He's flown to Roswell, to Fort Worth. he's got to take a picture in front of a weather balloon while the general tells everybody, oh, it's, as seasoned as this military officer is, I can't believe he couldn't identify a weather balloon, and like a good soldier. And this is where people are like, you know what? I would have said F that and I would have done all of that. No. 1947, you kept your mouth shut when a 1-star, 2-star somebody was talking to you. Because that's how they won World War II.
Right.
So, I'm going to let people in on a little secret. If you're a screw up in the military, you don't advance. You stay that rank until you decide you've had enough and you get out of the military or you retire. You don't advance. When you're a real screw up, like Marcel screwing up because he didn't know what a weather balloon looked like, and he's called that in front of newspapers, you don't advance. But guess what happens to Marcel in October? So July, he's an idiot. October, guess what? He's flown to Washington, D.C. to work on a program out of the Pentagon. And in December, so July, October, December, guess what happens? He puts on lieutenant colonel, and he's working at Strategic Air Command out of Andrews Air Force Base. Now, when a 1, 2, 3-star calls you an idiot in front of newspapers, you think they're going to promote you to lieutenant colonel? You think they're going to fly you to be in the Strategic Air Command? You think they're going to place you in charge of a very sensitive project?
No.
But that happened. And see, now you're starting to probably feel the same feelings I was when I was uncovering all this, because the talking heads they stop. They stop at Fort Worth, and that was it. Now, I'm not done with Marcel yet. So in 1948, in August, he's here at Andrews working at Strategic Air Command. That's in August. In November of 1948, so just a couple of months later, Strategic Air Command moves to Nebraska, where it kind of is for quite a long time. And guess who moves with them? Marcel moves with them. Why? Because he's in charge of a program that is monitoring Soviets detonating atomic weapons. So the guy, in, let's say, a year, 1947, July to November of 1948, is promoted, moved to DC, works out of the Pentagon, works at Strategic Air Command, then is moved to working with these balloons that collect data on atomic weapons used by the Russians. But he's an idiot and couldn't tell you what a weather balloon was in Roswell.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
So who's ever in the chat room, does anybody find that fishy as hell? I'll wait 30 seconds.
I know I do.
Yeah. But you see, if you listen to the talking heads, they're just regurgitating the same old story. There you go.
Yep.
So, questions before we can go on to the other shenanigans.
It's no wonder nobody trusts the government.
Yeah, I mean, and And all you got to do, people were collecting cans. They were saving the little foil from chewing gum to help with the war effort.
Oh my gosh.
This is, I mean, just submerge yourself into 1947. People trusted the government. The government, shot themselves in the foot. And, once you're wrong, you're going to stay wrong because you don't want to go back and admit. You don't want to change history books.
Right.
I mean, it is just when I was going through this Excel spreadsheet, I just thing after thing kept popping out on me on this. Like, here's an example. So the mortician, everybody knows about the mortician who was called. Do you have any, child-sized caskets? How do we keep a body from rotting? These were questions that were asked to the mortician, right? And again, here I'm going to hammer the hell out of the talking heads because I love it. I love doing this. And yes, I did this at the Roswell Festival. Every talking head, I pull them aside. Hey, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I got a lot of blank stares.
Because they're wondering how you know this.
It's in the testimonies. It's in the testimonies. So they call him. They say, do you have any child-sized caskets? No, I don't. Well, how do you keep a body from rotting? Well, we embalm it. Well, we want to keep the body fluid, pristine. How do you do that? What does the mortician say? Well, you probably need dry ice.
That's a lot of dry ice, man.
Yeah. So guess what I did while I was in Roswell?
Did you do a dry ice experiment?
No.
No.
I went looking. So government says, do you have any caskets? No. How do you keep a body from rotting? You do this. I want to keep the body intact. How do I keep it from use dry ice? Okay, thank you very much. Hang up. What do you think the government did after that? After they hung up? Where the hell can we get dry ice?
And a lot of it. And a lot of it.
Yeah. There's only one place in Roswell that had, at the time, had dry ice. It was Clardy's, and I could be butchering that, so who's ever in Roswell and remembers this dairy, correct me. Be gentle, but correct me. Clardy's was the local dairy there, and they needed dry ice to keep the milk from going bad, because I've been in July 4th at Roswell, and it is hot. I mean, it's worse than Texas heat. And so I go looking for Clardy's. Clardy's is no more. It was a one time, it was, I'd venture to say almost all of New Mexico was getting their milk from Clardy's.
Wow.
Either ice cream, either milk, some kind of milk byproduct. They were big. And then all of a sudden, they just disappeared. So I found the address for Clardy's, and I went to it, and it is a ginormous parking lot. Almost next to the police station. And if you drive 3 minutes down the road from Clardy's, from the police station, there is the funeral home that they called.
Wow.
Oh, Trish, it's just a parking lot. You would have driven in it. You would have parked your car in it. Never known the significance. It was there.
Wow.
Another thing is when Brazel comes to Roswell, he stops at the sheriff station. They call the base, and then he goes over to the radio station, and that's where things get a little hinky. So when everybody comes back, so Marcel, the intel officer, Cavett, the counter intel officer, they go back to the base. Well, Marcel takes a detour to his house and shows his kid. But then Brazel goes over to the radio station. So he gives an interview with the radio station, and they're talking about it. Now, back then, you couldn't put something out on the wire without the FCC knowing about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's an okay kind of reasonable thing, because back in the 40s, you didn't want people cussing online and
Right.
Talking inappropriate stuff. So Roswell radio station is having to relay through Albuquerque, if I'm not mistaken, and that woman that was working there was typing up the kind of message that she was going to send to the FCC to give them a heads up. Hey, this is what Roswell is thinking about putting out on the wire. Instead of the FCC replying back, it was the FBI who replied back and said, you will not transmit that at all, or you risk losing your license. They reached back out to Roswell and said, you will not transmit that at all for risk losing your license. And there's where the talking heads again dropped the ball. They've dropped the ball so many times, I'm not going to even say it anymore. Brazel is then absconded away by the radio station owner because he doesn't know the extent of this breaking story that he has on his lap. So he hides Marcel for a day or so. And, he's a rancher, not very good at being locked up. So he tries, the coast is clear. He's going to go back to the ranch and gets picked up by the military police and escorted back to the base. And he was held for an indiscriminate amount of time. When he's held at the base is when Major Jesse Marcel, is being flown to Fort Worth to sit in front of the general. Now, remember you were talking about that note?
Yes.
In the hand of the general.
Mm-hmm.
Now, knowing everything that I've told you, remember I said possible and probable. Knowing that there was a wreck outside of Roswell that they cleaned up on Friday night through Saturday, and knowing that what happened with Jesse 3 hours away, or Brazel 3 hours away, didn't happen till Monday morning. So by the time Marcel gets flown to Fort Worth, all of this has happened without Marcel knowing. So we go back to the little telegram in his hand. What do you think? I think it's possible, but have I made the argument for that to be probably true?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that after that day, now you know what happened to Marcel after that. He wasn't kicked to the curb. He
was
wasn't. He was
majorly
paid back. Yeah, he was paid back, is what we call it. He was paid back. You're going to shut up. You're going to take the fall. People are going to think you're an idiot, and you're going to be going to do wonderful things. Roger that, sir. I'm all over it. Now, here's my second question to you and to the viewers out there. Does anybody believe it was a weather balloon?
I'm going to say no. I don't believe that for a second, that it was a weather balloon.
And the guy that helped drop the nuclear bomb on Japan to win the war doesn't know what a freaking weather balloon is.
Yeah, I'm not buying that for a second.
So now the question is, how credible are these talking heads that are on Ancient Aliens and documentaries, and are they feeding us a bunch of bullshit? Because they make it sound like they're on our side.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, and I want all your audience to, did anybody know any of this before I told you?
Definitely not me.
Yeah.
Definitely not me.
Yeah. I mean, and so now people have been going, like, when I got first wind of the Roswell thing was about 87, 88. It had to have been after 87 because I was out of high school by then. So, or early 90s. So let's say 88 through 91. And I've been hearing the same BS story from every talking head on all of those channels. And remember I said this in our last interview. Same thing that happens in the UFO community happens in the Bigfoot community. Same thing. Why are people lying? Like, I mean, I don't know what else to. What do you call that? You get told by these talking heads about Bigfoot, and it's not till you, Gwen, that you see it for your damn self. And then everything changes. And now how far along are you? Like 5 years, 6 years?
5 years.
Yeah.
It's been 5 years, yeah.
Go back to 5 years and in your head replay those people, talking heads, talking about what Bigfoot is or isn't. And to what you and all of everybody else who's gone out and y'all know a different reality.
Yeah, definitely.
Y'all know a different reality than what's been told. And the same thing on the UFO community. And there's going to be people who are going to hammer the dog shit out of me because I've broken their view or their outlook. I'm sorry, but I refuse to lie to you.
Right.
To you and all your viewers, I'm not going to pull punches. This is uncomfortable. And, this is the stuff that people are like, oh, I can handle it. I want to know there's aliens and I want to do this. And these are the same people that I saw in 2019, 2020, punching people in the face for toilet paper. Like, no, you can't handle it.
No.
I was pissed off when I went through this. I mean, and it took me a long time. I read at least 15 UFO books about Roswell. And I was pissed. When I got done, I was like, because the books just, they go on these weird tangents.
Yeah.
One of the weirdest tangents I went, and I want people to look it up because it is just the craziest tangent. So I'm watching Frankie Rowe, who was the daughter of the fire chief. Now remember, he saw the bodies. He played with some of the wreckage. They were playing with some of the wreckage at the fire station. Now, Frankie Rowe was a girl at that time. She was at the fire station because she didn't feel well. She went to the fire station with her dad. They're all sitting around playing with the stuff. She played with the stuff. The military police, now, she doesn't remember the exact day, but if I was to guess, it was the day that they grabbed Mac Brazel, took him to the base. It was the day that they flew Marcel to Fort Worth. I think they probably went to the chief of police, and they probably went to the firehouse. And when they caught them playing with the little stuff, that was an issue. Because the fire chief takes Frankie Rowe home, and by the time they get home in Roswell, there's military police there, and according to Frankie, there's a plainclothes individual. I bet dollars to donuts it was that counterintelligence officer. Again, conspiracy, conjecture, whatever you want to call it. But I'll bet good money it was him. And he kept trying to tell them, y'all didn't see anything. Nothing happened. It was a weather balloon that wrecked. She, being a very independent and strong-willed woman, she was a girl then, but she was like, I know what I saw. I'm not going to lie. My parents taught me not to lie. That's a lie. There's something happened, So they kept telling her that they started to threaten her. They tell her, eventually, they take it to this level. If you don't say what I tell you to say, we're going to take you out into the desert and people are just going to find your bones. You know me, I don't want to go into the woods and look at an 8-foot creature. I would have shut my mouth. But Frankie didn't. She stood her ground and she said, I know what I saw. I know what I touched. You're not going to make me lie. And this is where it left me on another rabbit hole that I'll eventually come and talk to you about if you have me on again. That plainclothes person tells her, look, if you don't say what I tell you to say, I'm going to take your parents and I'm going to put them in Orchard Park. And then I'm going to take you and put you in Artesia. And then the interview, or she broke down and started crying and everything. And I didn't understand the context. So I go on to the machine of knowledge and I start, what was significant about Orchard Park in 1947? What would make this little girl start crying in 1947? That her parents were going to go to Artesia Park. Well, Orchard Park. Orchard Park is where they held captive German soldiers from World War II. They were right outside of Roswell.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Artesia is where they had captured Japanese soldiers. These aren't interns that they did here where they rounded up, first generation, second generation immigrants who are now American citizens and the placement. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, they captured them on the battlefield and brought them not just to Roswell. To date, I have found about 120 different prisoner of war camps all throughout the United States.
Oh my gosh.
Now, the reason I bring that up is because in the summer months, there's just rainstorms that happen out of nowhere in Roswell, and the town used to get flooded. So what the town decided is, we'll take these prisoners from Orchard Park and we'll have them dig a canal through the center of Roswell. It rains, it washes everything, everybody's happy. So they got the German prisoners of war and made them dig a canal through Roswell. Now, if you're at the Roswell Convention Center, there's the main highway. You come in through the convention center, you keep walking, you come out the back to the parking lot,
Mm-hmm.
and you keep walking to the end of the parking lot. You will come to a little fence that's guarding you from falling into this reservoir, kind of trench. Across from there, the German soldiers, in a fit of rebellion, cemented into place using stones a swastika into the side of the ravine.
Oh my God.
Now, Roswell has tried to pour concrete over it and it gets washed away. But I was there in probably 3 years ago now, and there it is in plain sight. But I wouldn't have known that had I not been investigating Roswell and following down these little leads that led me to discovering
Right.
over 100 prisoner of war camps here in America. Like all of, I think there's only 2 states, continental United States, that didn't have any. And I want to say Vermont is one of them, and there's one more. I can't remember who it is right off the bat. But, out of the 48 continental, or 49. So I think Alaska had them as well. But, yeah. So I've rambled a little bit. Okay. What's the questions? Now's y'all's time to ask me.
I think you blew us all away.
I hope not, but
I mean, I'm like,
people could
what?
be asleep. I can put people to sleep. So when I talk to them,
No. You can't put people to sleep. You think you put people to sleep.
Yeah.
You're intriguing.
No, the information is intriguing.
No.
I'm a comic book.
I'm shocked just to find out that there's all these POW camps.
Yeah.
In the
I have
United
a list
States.
of them.
That is not in any history book that I have ever read.
I'm sorry, what?
That's not in any history book I have ever read.
No. It won't ever be. It won't ever be.
That's totally insane.
So I have, and lucky for you, it's on an Excel spreadsheet.
Yes, I would
But
love to.
I used to go up to people and I'd like, hey, what state were you born in? And they'll tell me, and I'm like, well, what city were you born in? And then they'll tell me, and I used to scroll through my Excel spreadsheet, and I'm like, hey, did you know in 1948 there was like, I think it was 2,000 Nazis in a pre-OW camp there? And they're like,
What?
what? That's an elementary school now. And I'm like, well, in 1948, this is what it looks like.
I bet it's haunted now. That's incredible. I did not ever know that.
Okay, so that sounds like you may have me for another show. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Germans and Japanese.
And Italians.
Now, what the hell did Italians do?
They were part of the Axis. Japan, Italy, Germany.
Oh. Wait till I tell my husband this.
Oh, shit.
Because he's Italian.
Oh, no.
It's okay.
So I spring through these things. So there's a great connection. Speaking of World War II, there's a great connection between the mafia, okay, the Italian mafia here in America, the intelligence community, and overthrowing Mussolini in Italy.
Oh.
It's a great story. You know what? I'll give you even a worse teaser. It has connections to the National Enquirer.
The world's fakest newspaper?
The world. Well, when I get done, I want to see what you say.
So are you
No,
basically
I'm not. That's for
saying
another show. No. That's for another show. See, this is how I get you hooked.
Now when I look at the Enquirer on the newsstand, I'm going to be like, is that a fake story?
When I go through the Enquirer, if you allow me to go through that on another show.
Damn straight.
I know it sounds like I'm pimping myself, but I can't.
As long as it's to me, we'll be in good shape.
Thank you. Thank you. You
I
can
know
be my
wife,
Jane.
You know my husband, we're good.
Yeah, when I go through that, you'll do like you did here in Roswell, and you'll be like, why wasn't I told? And all of everything that I've told you, it's not top secret. It's not, it's out there. It's just every damn person that has written a book or been on TV is doing it for this.
Oh.
They're not doing it to educate people.
So let me ask you a question.
Ask me.
Let's fast forward to 2026. And the government is going to release all of these alien files. Yeah? No?
What do you think?
Honestly,
I'm asking, what do you think?
To be honest, I've put a lot of thought into this because part of me wants to know. Like, I want to know. I want to see what they're going to put out. But I'm very, very skeptical of the government because I think they do things behind our backs. They'll do something here so that we're paying attention, so they can do something over here that we're not paying attention to. And so I don't trust them. But so part of me is like, I wonder if they're going to let out the good stuff. Are we going to just get a brazen copy of not even highlights? It's going to be watered down versions of stuff. They're not going to tell us the truth.
I've said it before. If they can't control it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, but we kind of have a runaway president.
Yes, we do. But I mean,
whose main? Listen, I don't talk politics normally.
Linda, listen.
He's not a politician.
I'll agree with that.
He is not a politician. He is a businessman. Whether he's good or bad is up to
Right. Conjecture.
interpretation.
Yeah.
However, he's a businessman, not a politician.
Okay.
So he's doing things in the country in a business look. He's not doing politicky type of things. He's doing business things.
Right.
Which in some ways I think is good. And in some ways we have yet to determine if what he's doing now is going to be a good thing or not.
Okay.
However, I digress. But on to this alien thing, he's like, we're going to release all this stuff. And I'm like, he's not really a politician. So is he going to actually release stuff? Like, how much control over this stuff does he have?
Well,
or are the little peons underneath him go, he wants us to release the stuff, but we're not going to release this stuff. We're going to just...
So, I mean, yeah, that's the thing is he can direct people to release what they have, comma. There's this thing about needing to know, right?
Right.
Are the American people getting attacked with death lasers from space? No. Do they need to know about possible ships that are out in space? No. Right? But here's my thing. There's only my counter argument, and only because I don't like the topic, but it's a counter argument to what you're saying. Everybody on one side of the fence or the other, everybody wanted to know about the Epstein files.
Mm-hmm.
So what did he do? He did staggered release. Now, I do not like the things that I'm reading. And what I'm reading, now I'm going back and saying, maybe that pizza thing in DC, maybe that person that said it wasn't crazy.
Mm.
And maybe the person that said something, in the early or the late 90s, maybe they weren't crazy. And then you just keep going back in time. The point is, Epstein was one person with one island. I equate the Epstein stuff to the Colombian cartels. In order to move all of their drug boats into Texas or Louisiana or whatever, they would sacrifice one or two drug boats in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
But tons of drug boats would make it to America. So fast forward, you apply that thinking, okay, Epstein is that one drug boat to Florida. How many other drug boats, i.e. islands, are these people, these same people that people look up to, worship, and all of that? How many other islands are out there? How many? I've been out in the Pacific. There's tiny islands all over the place. Nobody goes to. How many are out there? How many are out there in the mountaintop resorts? How many are out there in the secluded ranches all over the place?
Mm. You just made my heart sink in one statement.
I know. I don't like it. But you know what? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be real with you every single time. Since the day I met you, I've never lied to you, and I'll never continue. I'll never do that. Never lie. So, sure, release the files. Okay, Roswell kind of happened, but they're not going to tell you anything else. They're not going to tell you about genetic manipulation. They're not going to tell you about, women being used for breeding or God knows what. And they're definitely not going to tell you about all of those kids on those milk cartons.
Yeah.
I remember when there was just a milk carton. There was a cow drawn on the milk carton. But by the 80s, I mean, I saw a different kid every week. And
Yep.
I was, in rural Texas outside of San Antonio. What was happening? Like there's tons of serial killers out there. And there's tons of people getting divorced. But that doesn't constitute all of these missing people.
No.
Do you know how many people go missing in the United States every year?
No.
400,000 ish.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
There's not enough serial killers for that.
No.
There's not enough hostile divorces going on for that.
No.
So they're either going to these secluded islands and getting chopped up by, I hate to call them people, but people that happen to have a lot of money or influence.
I heard they were eating the children.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the Vril Society?
No.
It's VRILL. So this society was
VR what?
it's VRILL, or maybe it's just one L, but
Okay.
it's like from I want to say it's the 1600s. Somebody can fact check me on that. Anyway, the whole point of it is the society wanted to be closer to God. Now, just follow me for a minute. They wanted to be closer to God. So the more heinous sins that they could do, it's like NASCAR. If you make enough lefts, you come back to the starting point.
Right.
So that was their mentality. If we sin enough, we will be enlightened like Jesus, like God. So everybody thinks that this society was a bunch of nut jobs in the 1600s, and they're gone. And I used to think that, but reading like you have, reading some of the stuff coming out, I don't know if that society is gone.
Right. That's very scary.
So will the information come out? Will there be this big disclosure? Well, I'm telling people it's right in front of your face.
Right.
It's been in front of your face forever. When everybody talks to somebody who's been abducted, oh, those people are crazy. Why? Because they remember and you don't remember? Because I guarantee you now in 2026, it's everybody. You cannot convince me it's not everybody. I think everybody has been touched. Everyone. So those are the people, should disclosure happen, and they find out that they've also been in this program, whether they like it or not, whether they remember it or not, those are those people that are going to go right back to 2019, 2020 and punching people in the face for toilet paper. These are the same people that are denying it happens. These are the same people that are calling everybody crazy. These are the same people that are out there saying, I can handle this. I took 2 years of junior college. I know a thing or two.
Mm.
Okay. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, but I think they could handle it not knowing it's them.
Exactly. But when they do,
But when it's you, it's a different subject.
yep. And that's what I'm like, I don't know what else to tell you. It's if it happens, like I mean, I don't think the government's the one thing that I think the government is telling the truth is that society would break down. I mean, people, do y'all remember how long it took for society to break down ish in 2019, 2020? Didn't take long.
No.
Did not take
Well,
long for people to get isolated, to start turning each other in.
yep.
People were calling the police on other people.
There's people still wearing face masks today in their car when they're driving by themselves.
I saw that today.
I'm like, dude, first of
So
all, we're way past that. Second of all, you're in your car by yourself. Again, we're way past it. Like,
extended family lives in New York. They had a rental car and came down to Virginia and were driving back to New York. The rental car had Virginia license plates. You know how you get rental cars in there from all
yeah.
over, right? The first crossing into New York, the first exit was a roadside arrest area.
Yeah.
Go to the bathroom. By the time they came out, there's police there. Now, there wasn't police on the road. There was police there when they came out of the bathroom.
Wow.
Why? Because somebody called the police and said, this person's driving through New York from a different state.
Oh my God.
So tell me again how people can handle it about the alien invasion, kind of. Yeah, tell me again. No.
I personally, I would really like to think that we can handle it because we've been spoon fed this bull crap since the 1940s. Because in 1942 was that thing over Los Angeles, if you remember that madness, right?
Oh, that was a balloon.
Oh, yeah,
Or
sure it
Venus.
was. So was Roswell.
Exactly. It was Venus.
They put out a lot of weather balloons. You know what I'm saying?
It was swamp gas over Los Angeles.
But when they come out and said aliens are real, I was like, finally, because we all know it, because we all don't trust you, and we all know you lie to us. So I was like, great, perfect, finally, that's out. But in my little bubble, I'm like, we should be totally able to handle it, right? Because.
But hey, remember the exercise I did with Bigfoot when I said, is Bigfoot subhuman? Is it an exotic animal? Is it exotic, extinct, protected? Each one of those has repercussions, right? So let's do that for aliens. Everybody wants to, hey, are UFOs real? Okay, let's just check in the box. Let's say they're real. You know what the repercussion is then? People are getting snatched out of their homes in their beds. Some people are remembering it. Some people are not remembering it. And that's where people are like, I don't, no. You don't get to choose where the story ends. That's not how this, this isn't a choose your own fantasy book and you can put it down. This is real life. So if people are getting snatched out of the beds in the middle of the night, then some people are reporting things being done to them, whether it's testing or something. And if that's real, then there's women having ghost pregnancies. And you can't tell me, just like, you can't tell me that, oh, this is an anomaly, you know, because I'm sure if I had access to medical records, I would love to see how many women have had ghost pregnancies since, let's say, 1947. And
Mm,
I bet if you put them on a scale, they'd go like that.
yeah.
And again, people just want a nice, clean, in the box.
Yep.
Okay, that's tidy, good. Let's
True.
we're done with that. So it's not a simple answer. And
No.
I know people, oh, well, I can handle it. Well, maybe you handle the first part, but can you handle the rest?
Right.
You know, like I'm not comfortable with somebody snatching me up and doing God knows what.
You
I'm
know,
not comfortable with that.
that's funny because Mike and I talked about that just a couple of days ago. And I said, if they want you and they come and they take you out of your bed, the part that's uncomfortable for me is that you can't stop it. There is
Mm-mm.
absolutely nothing you can do. If they want to come and take you out of your bed and take you into a spaceship or take you wherever it is that they take you and do shit to you, you can't do anything to stop it. You can't fight it. You can't scream. You can't anything. They are going to do what they want to do regardless. And that is the part that scares the shit out of me because you don't have any control, no control whatsoever.
So you are a smart individual. Your husband's a smart individual. Every person in America is a smart individual.
Mm-hmm.
Every person in America had they been given the opportunity to understand the COVID virus,
Mm-hmm.
could have approached it in a very, thoughtful, critical way, individually.
Right.
But that's not what happened.
No.
What happened was a mob got told half truths and off to the races it went.
Yeah.
And as I explained here today with just this Roswell, just the testimonies of these people, I didn't even, I did like 20% maybe. And there's so much I left out, but I think I made the point.
Yeah.
There's so much left out of Roswell. That's public knowledge. It's public knowledge. But you're being lied to every time you turn on the TV and every time you see people with, big hair, or they have, an accent, or they claim to be lawyers, or they're former doctors, or choose your poison.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't told you what I told you. They haven't said anything. They have been lying to you for decades now. I mean, we're in 2026. When I first heard about this stuff, early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's been longer that I've been lied to.
Yeah.
And if they're going to lie about something that happened in 1947,
Yeah.
2017, they're going to release some stuff and everybody's going to be that much the wiser.
No.
I don't buy it. I'm a pessimist though, so I want people like you to win me over, and I'm happy.
I don't know how optimistic or pessimistic I am. I think I just walk the middle line of, I don't know.
Oh, I've seen you skip around whistling Dixie.
I don't even know how to whistle. I don't know what you're even talking about.
Maybe it was Mike. I'm not sure.
It could have been Mike. Yeah, he's all over the place. He doesn't know shit.
So I don't know. Does anybody find this interesting at all? I mean,
I think you blew everybody away
yeah, I hope not. My
in a
own,
good
my
way.
own,
In a good way. You gave people a lot of knowledge tonight that they're like, I don't know what to do with this now.
but it wasn't even like
I'm
I went
sure
to some,
somebody is going to look something up just to see if you're telling the truth.
you know, but it wasn't like I went to some secret
No.
vaults or this shit is out there, and it's been out there forever. It's just nobody put it all together and
Mhm.
said, let's fit these pieces together. And then, oh, look at the pretty picture that there's there.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I refuse to let people continue to be lied to. They've been lied to, okay. But from today, I hope you all have a different outlook on this whole thing. Like, just using Roswell as an example.
Yeah.
I mean, now we go forward to what happened in Pascagoula, what happened in Kentucky to those three women, what happened, I mean, it just keeps repeating. The the woman that's taken out of a building in New York. And John Lennon saw it. I don't know if you've heard that story.
Apparently not, because my jaw just hit the ground. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Apparently John Lennon. Now this is how they wrote it out. Now, so John Lennon used to enjoy the devil's lettuce. Okay.
Okay.
So that's how they wrote it off. Oh, he must have been high and seeing lights in the sky.
Oh.
He claims he wasn't, and he saw it clear as day.
Is that why they killed him?
I mean, there you go. Ah, there you go. Thank you, hiking abductee.
I gotta write this down. Linda, you would believe the notes I have on my desk of weird things.
Do they all say? Do they all say Mondo is so full of BS?
No, it doesn't. Okay.
Yeah. When you look at
These are
where
all things that could end up in the magazine, by the way.
really, wow, those are cool.
I could end up with these things in the magazine.
I still need to buy those magazines. I'm going to get around to it. I promise. I know. I know. Oh, look at this, dropping knowledge. Thank you, because I'm an old dude and I don't remember a lot of stuff. So
Nice. I'm gonna look this
also,
up, lady.
also my eyes are brown, so
Full of it.
Oh, it's so good.
Tell me you're gonna come back. Of course you're gonna
You
come
tell
back.
me. This is your show.
That's
I'm,
right. It is my show, Mondo.
it's your
Stop
show.
trying to steal my thunder. No.
Right.
Well, we will get the calendar out because I'm sure there is a ton more stuff that you could supply me with an Excel spreadsheet for.
Oh, I have so many Excel spreadsheets. One of the things that I did want to talk to you before you kick me out, um, I saw at the beginning you had the evolution little
Oh,
snippet.
yeah.
I have an Excel spreadsheet for that.
Oh, we might have to look at that since it's
Yeah,
also in my intro.
yeah, you're gonna like what I kind of discovered, and it's gonna make a lot of sense because I feel you need the understanding of how the world works
Right.
in order to understand how the world works,
Right.
if that makes any sense. I did eat at that McDonald's.
There's a UFO McDonald's.
Oh yeah. It's got it's like a spaceship that's crashed into the McDonald's, and
My God.
there's gigantic aliens. It's awesome.
I need to go there.
Roswell is an experience. I'm going to tell you right now.
We actually have a subscription that goes to Roswell, New Mexico.
Really?
Which, when she ordered the magazine, I was like, "Oh my god, this
that's
is
awesome.
so cool!" Right? So I got to go there and I got to see it, and I got to meet this lady who ordered the magazine and be like, "Yeah, it was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome to have our magazine go to New Mexico, to Roswell."
So we were there for the Roswell Festival, which is usually like Friday and Saturday heavy, and then Sunday it's like by noon everybody's gone. So me and my wife, we stayed there until like Tuesday or Wednesday because it was cheaper to fly back to DC
right
that way. So by Monday morning, Roswell had turned into Roswell. It wasn't like UFO capital. Like nobody talked about UFO stuff. Nobody, they were just like small town again.
Oh my god.
It was such a weird change, and it happened overnight. Like,
what time of the year is this? When is it? This Roswell thing?
It's usually around July 4th.
July. Okay.
Yeah. So
I think it would be really cool if you and your wife and me and Mike could get together and go to Roswell together.
Oh, it's going to be good. We have travel plans for this summer, but maybe if you can hold off, because
I can hold off.
We found so many cool spots to go to. There's so many things to do out there. It's fun.
Okay.
And you know me, I don't stay on the path for very long.
So. No, I don't. I'm going to be right there with you.
Yeah.
Wandering away.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to lie. There's some things I did see in Roswell that I was like, I think it's time to go back to the hotel. Because they didn't come from outer space, but yeah.
Wow.
They were way more dangerous than that. But
that's crazy. Yeah. We're going to make it happen.
Oh, yeah. No, it
Summer of 27.
Huh?
Summer of 27.
That's the anniversary.
I didn't even know that. Right? Oh, yes. So let's do
47 to 27. What is that? 80? Math is hard for me.
Yeah, it would be 80 years.
Machine of knowledge. Yeah, it's 80 years.
We're going to go.
80-year anniversary.
80 years. Let's do
80 years of people telling the same old crap.
I'm going to not go to other stuff just so I can go to this one.
Did you see what Trish put out?
Oh.
Summer of 27.
They're going to be camping in, I don't even know how to say that.
I think it's Rudizio.
Oh.
Rudozio?
Nice.
When we were at Roswell, wife wanted to go up there. It's kind of in the mountains, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm thinking of the same thing, so Trish, correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, she wanted to go up there for something. I can't remember what it was.
Well, now we can go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Santa Fe is nice too. Santa Fe is really nice. Like, we were there for the Indian market, and I'm not lying to you. There was 800 vendors. The entire city center was full of vendors.
Wow.
Like, you could get everything. Anything you wanted, you could get. Like I was, now it comes with a price. So
no, of course, everything does.
I wanted to get an Indian chief headdress. Like, it had actual feather, like real feathers, like somebody put this together in the old ways. And I was like, how much is that? And they were like, I think we're gonna give it away for like 4,000. I was like, that's some fine quality. So yes, it is worth that. Unfortunately I saw hot sauce, so I'm a poor individual. So
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
yeah, but the quality is amazing on all of their stuff. I have, I brought back tons of arrowheads, a ceremonial staff. I mean, everywhere we go, I go and find the most exotic things. Someday we're gonna have to go down to New Orleans, and
Yes.
I will show you a different side of New Orleans than you've ever.
I would love it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right.
But
We're at 2 hours.
I know. I'm sorry. I ramble, people. It's my fault.
Stop it. Oh my God. It's
So
intriguing. So you're going to come back. We're going to pick some dates and we're going to tackle some more amazing conspiracies.
well, are they conspiracies?
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll find out. I want to thank everybody for coming here tonight and being a part of the conversation. This was truly very interesting and eye-opening, to say the least, because I didn't know any of that stuff. So I got lots of notes of stuff I need to look up. So Mondo will be back. I think in 2 weeks. I have.
Well, I mean, people are here. People are not tired of me. I think they could get Mondo fatigue. There's Mondo fatigue out there.
Trisha said she could listen to you all night, so you're good. We'll have her at least watching, so it'll be good.
Thank you, Trisha.
All right, we'll set some dates. We'll make things happen. I do not have a guest in 2 weeks, so maybe. Okay. And we'll figure out what we're going to talk about, because there's lots. There's lots and lots. I know you have spreadsheets everywhere. So thank you, everyone. It's been awesome. Probably the best 2 hours I've had in a while. So we'll see you in 2 weeks.
This has been a CARC Universal production.